opinions and views expressed by individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of this network, their group, or other organization they may be involved with.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday Sesh. I'm about a minute behind, so first thing I'm going to do is start rolling for, I guess I should pre-roll, but I never do, for the 420 sweat Sesh. And today I'm going to give a little bit of grow update. I got a surprise package in this week, so I'm going to show you guys what I got in that. I find my jar of weed first. What's back here? Where the hell did I sell it? There, I said it. And I'm going to, because I left it here, I didn't touch it at all. I'm curious about this this toffee concentrate. I haven't been able to find anything about it. And it was a sample, so it's not something that's for sale that's on the site. So it was just one of those sample things. Now, if anybody saw last week from my podcast and where I had pinpointed that counterfeit shatter, I did contact MediRem and I asked him, I'm like, please tell me you're not selling this shit. He goes, no. He goes, that was one of those free samples that I sent you. And I explained to him and I showed them pictures of what it was. And he said, you know what, regardless, even though it was a free sample, I'm still going to contact the person that gave it to me and let them know that, you know, like that's going to make the company look bad. You know, even if it was a free sample, it's still like indicative of what they're available or what they're offering for products. And so he still said he was going to contact the original vendor and let them know that shatter was no good. He was like, even though it was a free sample, he goes, you know, again, it's going to make that person look bad. Like, you're never going to want to buy shatter from that person if you're getting samples from them and it's garbage, right? So even though they weren't carrying that as a product, he said, I'm still going to get a hold of the vendor and say something. So, I mean, that's good, because it was absolute garbage. Like, so after I got off and I told you I did another test so I could show and to explain to some of my, the people that I work with, how to test for fake shatter, right? And when I showed them how sticky it was and how like gross it was on the spoon, they had looked at that and said, there's no way that's actual shatter. I said, no, it's got to be like some sort of not plastic. I don't know what it was, but it was not shatter. I threw it right away. I didn't even try it, because hi Ron, how are you? I didn't even try it. Like, I didn't even smoke it, because as soon as I seen it, and I'm going to do the same spoon test today on the this Canadian toffee that this says. I don't know, I even Googled it. Toffee, Canadian toffee, or toffee is not like a new type of concentrate that I might have been missing out on, because there's all kinds of these new concentrates. And if it is, there isn't anything on the internet about it. I think somebody's just naming it that, and maybe it's something they're making themselves. I don't know, because there's no information. I can't find this product anywhere. And again, it's one of those free sample things, so it's not even on our site to sell. So I'm going to do a little spoon test with that. Here, I'm just rolling up some buds here for the session before I do anything. And then we'll go on to that. And then I'm going to do the test on that. And then I'm going to show you guys what I got in my surprise package this week. And I give you a little update on the growing as well. So I'm going to do all three. So here I'm chatting while I'm rolling. I'll give you guys a little update on the seeds I started last week. So we're on about day 9 of germination right now. So really there should be like most of the cannabis takes between 3 to 10 days to germinate. Of course, it's not an exact schedule. I think that, I've got quite a few seeds that haven't popped yet. And that could be that they could be popping over the next couple of days. I mean, so I'm just going to leave them. Also, as I explained last week, the reason why I had popped them all was because I was really unsure on like the age of the seeds, and a lot of the seeds looked really, really small. So I was really hesitant on whether they were going to pop or not. So I was like, fuck it, I might as well do them all. Because these seeds were given to me. So these ones were not like bought in seeds from a breeder or anything. They were a bunch of seeds given to me by a friend. They were given to me 3 years ago. I didn't ask him, so I don't know how long he's had them. And that's why I just popped the rest of them, because I'm like, I know that seeds last, but the same sense, the chances of you popping them are going to go down year by year, but how old they are, and I don't know how old they how long he had them. So out of I had 68 seeds that I started. At this point right now, I have 24 that are doing absolutely amazing. Like they've taken right off. They're about this tall right now, and then I have the rest that are kind of like. This is what I do like about this system is I'm able to pull up the sponges and kind of open up the slit and see what they're doing. And about another half have roots started, but they just haven't popped up through the sponge yet. Like the leaf part hasn't started, but the root part has started. So they pop, but they're just still in the processes of going through their thing. And the other half haven't popped at all yet. The other half that haven't popped at all yet are super small seeds, and there were ones that I basically kind of predicted weren't going to pop, but I might as well throw them in there, right? And see what's going to happen, because I can't put any vegetables in there to start for at least another 2 weeks, because I don't want to start my vegetables too early. I did that last year, and again, I had a real problem with all these plants, and it was too early in the season to put them outdoors, and I got stuck with a lot of plants that like they were just kind of outgrowing the closet, and I was getting, cramped. So I don't want to do that this year. And I really thought, because I'm kind of playing around with this, hey, if I start them earlier, that just means I'm going to have an earlier harvest on the vegetables. And it really wasn't the case. So there's no real sense in starting your garden plants too early, because then you're just stuck with a whole bunch of plants indoors. And of course, now that I'm learning the difference between photos and autos, I'm going to assume that a lot of vegetables are photos. So they're going by the sunlight, the sun cycles. So no matter how early you start them, they're still gonna bloom out at the same time during the sun cycles, the amount of time that they're getting sun for. For autos, it doesn't fucking matter what amount of time they're just gonna go through, right? I don't know much about plants. I can say that. Growing plants. I actually know a lot about botany. I took botany, so that's like the science of plants and classification of plants. But actual growing is something that I'm really novice at, and I just kind of I've always gone by what other people have done. So going to be growing autos from the next run, and purposely grown autos before, so I've been doing some research before. Yes, I grew a bunch of autos last year. I'm going to spark up for happy 710. Happy 710, everybody. And actually, I can give you a little, and that was actually, Ron, what I'm going to lead into here. So just give me a second to get a couple of puffs. Because what I got in my surprise package was some auto seeds. So I'm going to go through and show you guys. I'm going to be growing autos again this year, and I'm very excited. So I'm going to give you, since Ron's on here watching, and I had actually mentioned to Michelle, my co-host, that I was going to be talking about autos today. So I'm going to, because I knew that I was getting these seeds, and that was going to lead into the conversation about autos a little bit. So I'm going to get in a little bit of a conversation on autos right now. We'll get into that now. So little precursor into what I'm going to show you guys, which is some auto seeds. I'm very excited about these. It's a company that I've grown. I guess my only experience with autos is with this company. But I just like their genetics. Like, You know, they're a little genetics company in Ontario. Their pricing is really reasonable. Like when I was looking for price of seeds, I mean, there's just some places that are just phenomenal when it comes to like what they want for like a couple seeds. His pricing's really good. His strains are really good. He's got all these really unique strains that he's doing. His seeds, all the seeds that I had popped and all did well last year. And I was amongst multiple growers, not just me, but I had like 6 other people that grew his seeds and they all absolutely fucking love the weed. And he does photos and autos. But so I'm going to give a little bit of lesson on autos for people, some little tips and tricks that I learned with autos. So number one is you don't want to grow. Let's spark again. You don't want to grow autos if you're novice. So again, I explained before that if you're novice at growing, go with photos, because photos, you have a long time to kind of correct yourself if you mess up, because you have that vegetative phase and your photos will stay in that vegetative stage as long as you have an 18-hour life cycle. You can continue to grow it if you undergrow it or whatever. If you fuck up something in that stage, as long as you keep it in the 18-hour or 18 to 24 hours of light, you can recuperate. You can you're not in the bud phase. You got some wiggle room with a photo, and you got times to kind of retake back any steps that you may have fucked up by just keeping it in the vegetative stage longer. That's how people keep mothers, is they keep them in the 18-hour or to 24 hours. Some people say 24 hours. I believe 18 hours. I still believe the plant needs some rest. Between 18 to 24 hours, you'll keep it in a vegetative stage. And that's how people keep mothers. So you keep it in the vegetative stage as long as it's in that life cycle. When you want to switch it to bud, when you want it to start budding, you turn it to a 12-hour life cycle. So if you're growing outdoors, you have no control over that. It's going to bud depending on where you live and how your life cycle goes for the seasons. So if you have a really short growing season, that's why, photos go with the light cycle that it's being fed. Autos do not. Autos will automatically flower no matter what light cycle they're under. So they're really fun to grow, but if you don't have, and I explained this before, very, very important thing with autos is the vegetative stage. You have no way of controlling the length of a vegetative stage with an auto. It's gonna fucking go no matter what. You can't fix any mistakes you make in the beginning stages because you can't keep it in veg. So the very, very beginning stages of autos are super important. You have a very short vegetative stage on it. Most autos from seed to finish are 10 to 14 weeks. Very short. I got something on my tongue. There we go. Like a piece of bud came out of my joint. So you have a very short phase. So you have to really make sure from seed to when it's going into flowering that you really, really pay attention to it. And so here's some hints that I'm going to tell you that I learned. One of the things that I learned about autos, and this is from the guy that sells the seeds to me. So obviously he knows what the fuck he's doing. He breeds these seeds. He breeds these plants. So the one big thing with autos at the beginning stages, I guess apparently, and I guess makes sense with the short vegetative stage, they don't like being moved. So what you want to do ideally with autos is you want to start them in the pot that you're going to grow them in. Most people will start seeds. Like I have I can actually point the camera now. You can see here, there's my grow closet. And I will show you guys next week. There's just not enough growth in there this week to do an update. We'll do an update next week because my seedlings that have taken off they're about this tall now. They got a couple, their first set of leaves on them. And then the ones that are kind of like in that finishing stage, hopefully we'll have more pop next week. So I'll do an actual closet. That's why didn't take my cell phone over today and show you guys the inside, because it's just, there's some seedlings started. It's nothing special, right? Next week we'll have a lot more growth. But what most people do is they'll start seedlings in something like that, and then after a certain amount of time, they'll move them into bigger pots. From what I'm being told, you don't want to do that with autos. Now, I did that last year. My autos grew, but they didn't grow as big as probably they could have. So that's a big one. And that was a tip I've gotten from a lot of people, is that you want to make sure that the pot, you don't want to move your autos. Autos don't like change because it's that again, you don't have time for it to correct anything. So you want to start your autos in the pot that they're going to stay in. You don't want to be transplanting them. Number two, autos don't like to be overwatered. They actually don't like too much water. They like less water than photos. Those are two of the big ones that I've got right now. And also really fucking baby them during that vegetative stage. So you really got to pay attention. You want as much consistency with the watering, with the light, and then with the temperature. Very crucial in the first 4 weeks, because you only got maybe, just over 2 months. So your vegetative stage, I don't know exactly how many weeks. I guess I should look it up, but I'm going to guess it. At least the first 4 weeks is vegetative. I only grew autos last year. I've only gone through one cycle. So as I'm going to show you guys before 420, I got a package from IWK Genetics again. I'm really freaking excited. I did some tack work for them, and he was like, how much do you want to get paid? I was like, pay me in some seeds. So I'm very excited. I'm going to show you guys what I got. And then I've still got to have to join here for 420, so I don't have to roll anymore for that. Yeah, he sent me way more than I expected. So if you're looking at buying auto seeds, especially Canadian, I know that the majority of the viewers on here are Canadian. Geez, I'm going to show you guys the logo. You can go right on the, here is IWK Genetics. You can look it up. I always forget to post links there. I'll tell you how to spell it. It's AEQUE Genetics. He's on Facebook. He has his own website, and he's on Instagram. I really like this guy. He's from Ontario. That's another thing that I really like, is that these strains and seeds and all the fun stuff, they're for Canadian climate. The seeds that I've gotten other seeds from the States, and I find they don't grow as well here. At least for photos. I'm sure that the light cycle is different for Florida for photos. I've never bought autos from anybody else yet. One of the reasons why I haven't bought autos is that when I look on other websites, the price they want is just like way more than I'm willing to pay. So happy 420, everybody. Well, I still got 30 seconds, but happy 420. So when you look on his site, and I can't remember the exact, I think it's $35 for 3 or whatever. His prices are really reasonable compared to everybody else's. And he does these really, like, he does his own, I guess, strains. What do we got here? Oh, I guess this one's a traditional strain, which I'm excited to try, because all the ones I got last year were like his own strains. This one's a sour diesel strain, so that's really cool. That's just a straight up, like, traditional strain. I also got Alien Cherry Kush. So, and how many of those? R2. So R2, I think that second generation, I guess. I don't know. Genetics and plants, I know, like, generic genetics and plants, like, but I don't know when it comes to plant breeding very much. I know enough to understand, and that's it. And then I have another one. Ooh, see, I didn't even look at these strains yet. I was going to wait to show you guys. Purple Biscotti. So I got another one there, Purple Biscotti. These are all autos. And then I have Catalyst Kush. I told him to send me any indicas. I was like, I love indicas, so send me Catalyst Kush. Oh, here, they've actually got the strains on the back here, too. So that's really good. This Alien Cherry Kush is Auto Femme. It says Alien Cherry. Oh, it tells me what it's bred with, but I can't read it that well. Biscotti and Purple. Okay, so the Purple Biscotti is a Biscotti times Purple Poison. And he's even got the amount of days here. So this one here, this Purple Biscotti, is a cross between Biscotto. So I'm assuming that's an auto-specific strain. and purple poison, and then it says 85 days. So from start to finish, that's 85 days that plant will have bud. I like that. And then this one is Alien Cherry Kush, which I said again, I can't. He should get me to graphic design because some of these are really hard to read. I try to get to do graphic design with him, but he's a little hard to get a hold of. 53 to 75 days. Oh, there we go. And it's just an autofoam. So this didn't tell me what the actual cross of it was. Some of them do, some of them don't. Catalyst Kush, it's called Catalyst Kush, is Camo and then Sour Bay Bessie times Alien Cherry Kush. So it's a couple crossbreeds there. And then how many days is that one? Does it tell me? 80 days. So that one's 80 days. And then we have Cali Gas. Again, the packaging is really hard to read. California Show something else, Fem Auto. It's really hard to read the packaging, as you can see. Like the writing is really like kind of buried into the background there. But I'm very, very happy. I do like his packaging though. Like, except for having to read it. It looks really nice. It's really high quality. And he's actually switched over and see if I can grab my scissors here because I got to cut open this packaging. It's just pretty simple, but he's got the, it's in there. And how many scissors? It says 3, but I get 4, so I'm excited. I mean, see, I got 4 seasons. See if there are how many is in each one of these. I'm excited. I made some mistakes from last year, so I'm really excited to try to rectify the mistakes. Because I was gonna buy some autos, but the fact that he sent these to me, I got a deal. I got a really good deal, so I'm very happy. Because this probably would have cost me like a couple $100 in Z's. That's plus shipping. I got these. I did some work for him, some tech support work. I tech supported his website and helped him with his domain and stuff, and got these for free. Well, for the price that it would cost him. I was only going to charge him $50, and he sent me probably about $120 worth of seeds. So I'm happy with that. So yeah, I've got another 4 of those. So yeah, there's 4 in each one instead of 3. So that's kind of nice because so now I've got 12 and I got 20 seeds. So I'm happy with that. See, so one of the things that I'm going to do with these that I didn't do last year. So I'm going to change this up completely how I'm going to grow these this year. I'm not growing these outdoors. Not that they did do nicely outdoors. And if anybody's seen that, what I did last year was half was out. I grew the first half outdoors and then I moved them outside. Again, I learned my lesson. I guess autos don't like being moved. Like they don't like the environment change because it's such a small grow window. So what I'm going to do is, I'll put these back so I don't lose any of these. And what I'm going to do is, I want to keep a mother plant upstairs. I have some pineapple chunk, and I'm really hoping I got 3 seeds that I have in my system, and I'm really hoping that I can keep a mother out of one of those seeds. And if it doesn't end up being that as a mother, whatever photo, I like to keep a photo mother is what I want to do. So in order to keep a mother, if you don't know how to keep a mother, and I explained this earlier, is you have to keep it in the vegetative state. So you can't keep autos as mothers because autos automatically bud. And because of, they don't go back into a vegetative stage. So you can't clone them either. So autos are more fun to grow. They're just, you wouldn't, autos are fun on a personal level. I don't know if you were growing weed commercially, if autos would really work because you can't keep mothers. You'd have to grow from seed every time. All of that fun stuff. But for at-home grows, autos are great. They're fun. They're fucking fun. Because cannabis normally takes like, I can't remember the exact days. How many days is it supposed to take? Like, it's like 6 months. It's close to like 6 months or so in order for you to get bud. Like I start my plants, my photos, I started them in February last year. So you have February, March, April, May, June. And then I put them out July, August, September. So yeah, it was like 6, 7 months before I had any bud. It's like the end of September. So it was going on 8 months from start to finish. Autos are 84 days. Like they're less than 2 months. So autos are fun to grow. If you're just growing for yourself, I think that autos are great. And especially if you want to grow indoors and you don't want to keep a mother, you know, starting these from seeds, you know, you just buy the seeds and pop them and grow them. They're great. So what I want to do though is I want to keep a mother of one of my photos. I'm hoping it'll be the pineapple chunk. That's my plan. So in order to keep a mother, I need to keep it under 18-hour lights constantly. So I'm setting my upstairs. I have an upstairs back room that I was using as a plant starter and all of that fun stuff last year. I'm going to set up a tent there and I'm going to have it under 18-hour light. So I figure if I'm going to have that mother under 18-hour light for next year's grows and all of that, because it's a strain that we only have so many seeds of, and somebody wants me to keep a mother so that we can cut clones off of it for next year for me and him. So that's what I kind of want to do. That's what I plan to do. So in order to do that, I have to have a closet under for an 18-hour light. So I figure if I'm going to have a closet and I'm going to have an 18-hour light to keep one mother under, I might as well do some auto grows in there because there's going to be room, number one, because I only have one mother at this point that I'm going to keep. I might keep more, but at this point right now, I just plan on keeping one pineapple chunk mother. If I'm going to keep that mother, I have some, room to keep 2 or 3 autos in there. So that's what I plan on doing instead. So I have all my photos outdoors. So that's what I got started as my seeds there. Those will be going straight outdoors once they're sexed. I want to keep, there's 3 pineapple chunks in there. So once they grow and I sex them, I'd like to keep one of them aside as a mother for next year's crop. So that's why I thought I'm going to do it all completely different. I really want to see what an auto does from start to finish without mistakes. Because last year, not mistakes, but I interrupted the cycle because I started them in a pod system and I transplanted them. So, I moved them, which is, they don't like that. And I'm sure I stunted their growth. I got really nice looking bud off mine, but I'm sure that I probably could have doubled my yield if I had just paid a little attention to them. I started them alongside a whole bunch of photos. So I had a whole bunch of photos, a whole bunch of autos, and all my vegetable seeds all in one closet. So I think like I told you, said last year, is raw and growing weed is fun and smoking weed is funner. I do agree to that, but autos are very satisfying only because of how short they are. They're really fun to grow compared to photos. So I have to say that growing autos is really fucking fun. Photos are a little painful because, like I said, you're going through 6-7 months, and really by the end of the harvest, you're just frothing at the mouth, waiting for the harvest. If you're just doing this and you're not like doing it on a continuous cycle where you've got plants started in between. So for autos, I do find them fun. I do find them almost as fun as smoking weed. I have to say that, where it's only 80 days, you really get to watch things go in fast tracks, right? When it comes to watching the buds grow. So I really do have fun with them. So yeah, so I plan on, so I'm not starting my autos right away. That's why you don't see them in, like, I'm not going to start them in this. I'm going to start them upstairs in the closet when I have that, or my back room, when I have the tent set up and I can put them straight into their forever home. So I'm going to do all those steps that I was suggested to do. I'm also buying, so I was really contemplating last year or this year, I don't want to do a hydro op upstairs. I have the PVC here for my vegetables and my herbs and all of that. I don't know. I don't know. I really do like growing in dirt. The only thing I didn't like about growing in dirt is the constant watering, especially where it's upstairs. But I'm also trying to grow efficiently. So it's like, I got my light plugged in, and then I'm going to have the hydro system plugged in, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to have large amounts of water upstairs. Do I want to haul water? Blah. I think I'm going to do it differently. I'm seriously looking at this, and I think this is what I'm going to try for indoors this year, is I'm going with dirt, which is I did last year, but I'm going to buy a automatic, it's called a drip irrigation system. So it's an automatic waterer for your plants, but the one that I'm buying is solar operated. And I really like that idea because I'm really trying to cut down on the amount of energy I'm using to grow. So that's why, like, I don't know if I want a second hydroponic operation upstairs for just a mother and a couple autos, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, that's, unnecessary power to run. And then um, the lights and the pump and all of this water and the PA chain and all of that stuff upstairs for a mother and just, three autos. So, and I like growing in dirt. I really do like growing in dirt. I said the only thing that I don't like growing in dirt is, especially upstairs, is the frequency that I have to make sure it's watered, especially when they get bigger. Now, one good thing is autos don't like being overwatered. So they can go a little bit drier than a photo, and my mother's can go a little drier. But I'm really curious. I've read all kinds of reviews on these drip irrigation systems. They're fairly inexpensive. And now this year they have solar powered ones. In the room that I have a window that gets constant light. So I got no worries about it charging. Like, it will charge constantly. You don't need that much power to power a drip irrigation system. It's not running all the time. It's running 1 or 2 times a day. And it would keep, my thought is it would keep a consistent watering for my autos. So then they know they're getting watered at a certain time every day. Because again, I've been told that autos like consistency. And that makes sense for as fast as their growing cycle is, that they really need, you really want to keep things consistent in that short vegetative state. So I'm going to buy one of these drip irrigation systems. You can get one in price on Amazon anywhere from, I was looking at anywhere between $40 to $75. I usually go, when it comes to buying stuff, I really, really, really like to read a lot of reviews on Amazon, and I mean all of them, not just a couple, because a lot of them can be faked. So I really try to dive in deep with the reviews, and I also try to go middle ground with price. Like, I don't need the most expensive, but I don't buy the cheapest. I usually try to go in the middle. So I'm looking at like about a $50 system. And they look really fucking cool. The reviews on them are really good. You can do up to 16 plants with a couple of these different systems. And it's just one bucket of water, your drip irrigation system, and then that feeds into your plants. So I think that would be a lot easier to maintain than a hydroponic system. And again, I just don't think I want a hydroponic system upstairs for just what I'm growing. And the I don't know how to say it. Like, I do like growing hydroponically, but it has its drawbacks. I love my PVC hydroponic system. It's great for, like I said, my lettuces and my herbs that I'm going to be growing for retail. As a seed starter, it's great. But for upstairs, for my setup, for, my cost, because I already have and I really do like the PVC system, because the pump doesn't run constantly like it does with the deep water. So if you're growing lettuces, you don't really need the pump to be running all the time, unlike the deep water culture ones that are constantly running, right? So I do love my PVC system. I just don't know if I want to set up a deep water culture. Again, when I'm keeping a mother, do I want that pump on all the time for just a mother and a couple autos? Like, if you're growing commercially or you're growing to smoke, large amounts, the hydroponic is great. But this is just for fun for me. This is just, I have my weed I smoke, right? Like, the stuff that I'm growing outdoors, I used to make my edibles with. This stuff is just for fun. I'm going to have a couple plants upstairs. Do I want to go buy and spend a couple $100 on a hydro system for that? Not really. I love growing in dirt. So again, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give it a try. You guys will get updates. I'll show you guys how well, because I said, other than my dirt drying out and the inconsistent watering, and I'm sure if I set up the perfect time every day to fucking water, that it would work out perfect, but I don't live like that. I don't live with a schedule that's always in my head. So this automatic watering, I think, would get rid of that problem. I can set it to water a certain time of day, and then I won't forget it. Just like you got the timer, I got a timer on the lights. Here, I'd have it sit on its own timer. It's solar powered, which is fucking amazing. I'm not burning extra electricity for it, and I have my LED grow light, so it should be a fairly efficient grow. Because again, I'm not doing this for profit. I'm literally growing those upstairs for fun. I'm just keeping the mother for me and my cousin to have clones. Like, there's no profit to be made. So do I really want to spend all kinds of money on power and a hydro system for something that's just fun? No. A $50 water, great, right? So, and I already have some nice square grown pot planters from last year. So, it's only a $50, and then I got to buy the tent. I'm looking at tents for $150. I'm still already spending about $200 just to have my plants upstairs. If I wanted a hydro system, yes, I could put something together myself and build it. I just don't have the interest in having that much water lugged upstairs. If I had a grow room downstairs that had access to like where I could drain my water easy, I just don't want to lug liters and liters of water up into my back closet. So dirt it's going to be with this drip irrigation. So I'll show you guys that as I go, obviously, because I'm going to be starting that probably. Again, I don't want to start a whole bunch of seeds at once and be overwhelmed like I was last year. So I'm taking everything in steps. This month I've got these started. I'm going to let them go for a while in that system. And then behind that, I'm going to start some seeds for my garden, my outdoor grow for my garden, which I'll have tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots, all of those types of vegetables. And then once they're outdoors in June, then I'm going to start my full round of lettuces and herbs, which will go in there and stay in there completely. I don't want to grow, and I've explained this before. My idea behind that is lettuces. I found my lettuces and my herbs, number one, get attacked by bugs a lot outdoors. They didn't like, I'm going to grow them completely dirt free indoors, because lettuce is such a pain in the ass to wash when it gets dirty. You got it outdoors and you got bird shit that drops on it, bugs that drop on it, all this other stuff. That's why I have that initially set up. But I'm going to use it as a seed starter while it's there to get so it's a multi-use closet. But the ultimate goal of that closet, once I get my vegetables out there, is it's going to have lettuces and herbs in there, and that's going to be grown all year. So I'll be continuing that grow into a couple cycles and having that in the wintertime. And maybe I'll do the switch over again in the spring next year and start some outdoor seeds again. I'm not sure, though, or I might I'm just taking advantage of this cycle right now, but that may not happen next spring. It may just stay filled with herbs and lettuces. But I've got this area now set up, so I might as well use it to get these outdoor things started, and then start up. And it also gets me to kind of get to know the PVC system before I have the lettuces in there, and I kind of get to know, like I've got those cannabis seeds in there right now. Again, they were just given to me. I knew they were older, so I can get them started. I know, I've learned maybe, some lessons learned in this propagation that I can carry forward to the vegetable propagation that I can ultimately use in the lettuce. Everything's going pretty good so far, though. Like, now that I got the water temperature issue fixed, I think that was the major one. So I'll give you guys an update. I'm going to let you guys go here soon. I will give you a full grow update next week. And we didn't get to it, so I'll save this because I don't have any. I have 2 things to test out, so we'll test them out next week. I have, when I didn't know what this was last week, it's called a resin hash, or live resin hash or something, and it is handmade. Smells amazing. That's the legit stuff. I still got this sealed, so we'll try that next week and review that. This toffee stuff that I still don't know anything about, I'm going to keep that sealed, and we'll do the test for that next week. I'll keep that right by my desk. And we'll just do that next week. So I'll give you guys a grow update. You started your peppers, onions, and leeks already indoors, Ron. Yeah, I haven't started anything yet because I don't know when you guys when you guys get to put things out, Ron, but in Nova Scotia, it's till late June. So maybe I'm going to wait until like halfway through next month before I start anything. So that's for me. I'm going to start that stuff, my veggies next in the next round. I'm going to let these go. Tomatoes will be any day. Oh yeah, I suppose, yeah. Tomatoes you can put out any day. I guess potatoes are another one. Potatoes are ones that as tomatoes you will start any day. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess potatoes can be put out early. I just misread what you said, because apparently they don't really mind the frost as much. But other than that, I won't be putting any of my stuff out till late June, so I'm gonna start that in about a month, and then that way I don't get stuck like I did last year with a whole bunch of plants indoors and not ready to be outside stores yet because it was too cold. So I will let you guys go for now. We'll see you guys next week, and we'll have some more updates. So I'm going mid-May to early June. Yeah, see, you can put your stuff out earlier than me, because Nova Scotia is the end of June is when we're supposed to put stuff out. So we must get frost a little bit later in the season than you guys do in Ontario. So that's why I'm going to be starting my stuff a little bit earlier, or later. So I'm going to, once I flip over and I'm going to find the closer for you guys now, and we'll see you guys next week.
Are you a Northern Ontario resident searching for credible information on cannabis as a medicine? No Sir is here to help. Established in 2013, Northern Ontario Cannabis Education and Resources is here for you. No Sir Director Kim Cooper brings you 45 plus years experience utilizing cannabis as a medicine and is spreading the education across the North. Activism, resources, referrals, and more at No Sir. Don't be a jackass. Say no sir to cannabis propaganda with No Sir. Find us at www.nocer.ca. Advertising space available at NOK. Contact us for a rate sheet at NOKNetwork.com. Send us a message on our social media platforms or email us at info@NOKNetwork.com.